It's just gone lunchtime. This is All Angles here on eNCA. Good afternoon. I'm Masukho Ratlaga. We've reached that time of the day when we give you an update on how far some of the stories we've been following up for you on channels today have advanced. This is your lunchtime update. Our reporters are out and about bringing you the latest on today's top stories. I'm joined by Bafedile Moerane in Springs and Hloni Mtimkhulu is in Alexandra for us. Let's start with you, Bafedile. Of course, conflict between mine workers and the management at Gold One Mine in Springs continues. Management has halted operations until Monday. Why is that?
Well, the mine management is saying that yesterday they got a tip of Maseko that the workers are planning another sit-in underground. This is after some of them were allegedly seen carrying a lot of food, which means that they were preparing themselves that they do not get hungry underground there. So at this point in time, the mine management is in engagement with the National Union of Mine Workers as trying to map a way forward and come up with an amicable solution to the conflict between the workers and the mine management. So at the heart of it all, Maseko, we know it is that the workers are calling for eNCA to be recognized as their representative and the mine to reconsider the closed shop agreement of workers. So the majority of the workers who are converging outside the mine premises and chanting slogans, we understand it is a morning shift that was removed underground by mine management to say that come out there, the operations are halted from now on until Monday. So the workers are saying that they are not on strike. This is the mine decision to halt operations. And there are some workers who have actually been suspended there, Maseko. Over 30 of them have been suspended. But what is surprising is that they have not been charged by anything at this point in time. They only come to work in the morning to sign the register and then go back home in the afternoon. So what is happening at this point, Maseko, the workers are saying that they're waiting for mine management until Monday to hear what is the way forward, but they are saying that eNCA must be recognized because they have signed a petition and submitted all the relevant documents to recognize eNCA as the representative at the mine. So we spoke earlier on to Musa Kalipi, who is eNCA representative at the mine. He's also suspended, and let us listen to what he said to us.
From the start, we were doing a sit-in. Now we are not on strike. The mine cancelled the shift. The mine is the one that did the lockout yesterday on a night shift. Even today, they still did the same of the lockout. Even now, they didn't even notify the workers if the night shift is coming in today. But all I can tell you, all I can say is that we want only one thing from Gold One. And we are not going back unless we get the organization rights, and we go for a ballot. Because now, if I can say, maybe you can ask me that this thing is going to escalate to be like Marikana. I will say to you, no, you won't be like Marikana, because how gonna be eNCA members fighting alone? Because now there's not any members of NUM. Maybe if you knew, you've been coming here from the 22nd. You never even saw the one red T-shirt. You only saw the green T-shirt every day.
And of course, we also welcome Nobesuthu Hejana live for us in Cape Town. But let's go to Hloni Mtimkhulu, who is with City Power that is pulling the plug on non-paying customers and businesses in that particular part of Johannesburg. They've been there before as they embark on a mission to recoup R500 million owed to it. But Hloni, of course, this has been done before. I know that it was first residents and now it is businesses today. But, has City Power been able to curb this issue in Alexandra? Some people reconnect themselves after being, unplugged.
Yeah, Masoko, that is a very big problem that City Power is faced with and must address. When we spoke to Isaac Mangena, the spokesperson earlier, he did mention this and just how it does set them back a few steps in trying to recoup the money that they are owed by customers, by all sorts of users, whether it's residential areas or whether like where we are now in an industrial area. And where we are now, actually, even though it's an industrial area, this is the 5th property we've been to today, and one of the factories here has been turned into a residential set of apartments, and they owe 2 million rand that is unpaid. Next door to that property is an actual business, and so the owner of the business turned one of the offices or one of the blocks into a residential property. So you're also having these sorts of zoning questions around, can this even be done in the first place, or is there some sort of monitoring that is being done in terms of that? But yeah, in terms of that, you know, we've seen a residential property the first time that we went to. There the owner was owing more than 400,000, close to R500,000 that was unpaid over 6 months. And then we went to businesses as well that were disconnected before and reconnected themselves. And when you see some of the cable that has been used to reconnect, some of the City Power employees were saying you can't even use such a thin amount or such a small amount of cable to reconnect yourself, given that you are reconnecting a big industrial business, a big industrial area. But let us hear, just in terms of that reconnection that does cost City Power, what the spokesperson Isaac Mangena rather has to say.
It is really disappointing that at some businesses that we revisited, we found that they've actually reconnected themselves. And I think one of the things that normally they will do is that they use internal resources. So they probably will be using the contractors that we are working with, or even some of our technicians. But we don't have the proof currently as to how they reconnected themselves. Yesterday, as you have seen, and we are moving closer in terms of arresting some of these people. Yesterday, as you have seen in the south, in Kibla Park, we arrested 2 of our contractors that reconnected one of the customers that we had cut off initially. So we have already spoken to chiefs about some of these problems that we encounter in terms of the reconnections. But it's also about the law enforcement also arresting the very same business people that have reconnected themselves. It is in the bylaws that anyone who is found to have tampered with electricity or municipal infrastructure, for that matter, can actually be arrested.
All right, Nobesuthu, let's come to you now. The police commissioner in the Western Cape says SAPS is in talks with the city to fix signage, as the recent incident involving an American tourist could have possibly been avoided. But you also spoke to the tourist himself. What did he say happened?
Well, Maseko, after that integrated launch that was launched by the City of Cape Town with local law enforcement agencies and in partnership with SAPS as well as the Table Mountain Rangers, a German couple was subsequently robbed near the Table Mountain, and we do understand that 2 people have been arrested following that particular incident. But coming to the story of Mr. Walter Fischel, he did say that he was traveling from the airport after his flight and he was navigating to his friend's house in Simonstown, and then when he checked on Google Maps, it gave him 3 options, but 2 of those it had shown that they were congested, and then he took the shortest route, which took him to the Nyanga area. And as he was traveling there, he reached a point where he saw a lot of people in the streets, and he assumed that that was a taxi rank, but then the unexpected took place. And after we spoke to him during that live crossing earlier on, he also mentioned that, I mean, as companies like the rental cars, they should also ensure that their clients are safe, especially for people who are not from the country. Maybe give warnings as to which areas that they can look out for or avoid. But this is what he said in terms of like what happened to him.
Well, I made a right turn, and then I made a left turn, and then I made a right turn, and I guess that was Nyanga. I've never heard of Nyanga until this week. Started to proceed down the road, and it got a little congested. I noticed that there was a lot of people on the street, a lot of taxis, so I assumed that was a drop-off pickup location, a taxi rank, if I may say correctly. And it just kind of stop-and-go traffic. I actually was going through the motion like everybody else. I was stopped sitting there, and before I knew it, I was shot. No warning, no nothing. I mean, guy came up and just shot me through the glass and into my jaw. They opened, the assailant that shot me was trying to open the windows and the doors. So I was attempting to go after the assailant, thinking he was alone, but when he unlocked the door, other men jumped in there. So at that point, I knew I was outnumbered, and they were going through my pockets, frisking me, and trying to dig out my wallet, my passport, and the car keys. That's all I had on me at that point.
All right, that was your eNCA lunchtime update from all angles with reporters Nobesuthu, Hejana, Hloni, Mtimkhulu and Bafedile Moerane. Thank you, team. Let's leave it there for now.